Hey everybody, Sevuhl here, and today we're going to be doing the Break Out the Cage room from TryHackMe, where we help Nicolas Cage bring back his acting career and investigate some nefarious doings of one of his agents. I have completed this box already, so this is going to be pretty straightforward. We only have 3 questions to answer in our task, and that is, what is Weston's password? So we get a user off the jump, and then we need to find the user flag and the root flag. So it should be pretty quick. This is an easy rated box, so it's nothing too difficult. And hopefully it helps you out. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. As you can see, we have the machine deployed. It's been up for nearly 7 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and copy this IP address, and we're going to get an Nmap scan going. I'm going to use my go-to. It's going to be Nmap SC for default scripts, SV for enumerate all versions, and then we're going to output that to an Nmap directory and call it openports.txt, and then we just need to supply that IP address. I have already ran that, so we can just go ahead and cat that information out. And we see that we have 3 ports. We have FTP on port 21 with anonymous FTP login allowed. And it looks like it's already listed that file. It looks like we have a dad tasks file that we're able to get, so we'll get that shortly. We have SSH on port 22, and then we have HTTP on port 80. I think I'm talking a little too fast. So we're going to go ahead and head over to the HTTP site here, and we see that it is Nicholas's diary. And all the links are dead, so there's nothing good going on there. If we view the page source, there's nothing interesting as well. So the next best thing we could do is just use a GoBuster and do some web directory brute forcing. So before we move forward with going into FTP, I'm going to go ahead and get that going. What we can do is we can do a tmux here, and then I'm going to run GoBuster. So we'll go into our op directory and get that going. We want to use the dir, because we want to do, of course, web directory brute forcing. We're going to supply the URL, which is just 10.10.104.156, and then a word list. I'm going to use the word list from dirbuster. We're going to use directory 2.3, and I'm just going to use small, and we'll bump the threads up to 50. And that should find everything we need there. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and go to the FTP. So we'll just do FTP 10.10.104. 156, and then we'll supply the anonymous name for login and no password, and we are in. We can list all the contents there, and we find that is just dad tasks is available. We can try to cd out and see if maybe we can get out of the FTP directory, and we can't, so we'll just go ahead and get this dad tasks, and that will go into our cage directory. So then we can exit, clear, and we see that we have dad tasks now in our cage directory. So what I'll do is make a directory called files and move that over into files, so we can kind of keep this directory clean and clear. So with that done, we'll go into files, and we'll cat out this dad underscore tasks, and we see that it is encrypted or hashed in some way or form. In order to find that out, there's a few things you can do. You could obviously guess it if you know it. I already know it, obviously, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do, I believe, what is the site that I sometimes go to? I think it's hash identifier. This isn't it. Let's see. What could it be? It's probably, let's say, encryption identifier. There it is, Cipher Identifier. So if we go to Cipher Identifier and then we input the dad tasks data into this little box here, and then we analyze it, we'll figure out that it's base64, and then we can just click there and go to the base64 decoder tool, or if you want, you can just go to your, most everybody understands or knows base64decode.org, so we can just go there, paste the contents there, decode it, and we find that it is more cipher encrypted text. So we can go back to Cipher Identifier and put this into there, analyze the text again, and we get the Visionaire cipher. So now we can go into Visionaire cipher tool, and we can input the text, but we're going to need a key. We could try something like ABCDE, FGHIJ, KLM, NOP, QRS, TUV, WX, Y, and Z, and decode, and that obviously does us no good. So we need to find the proper key so that we can decode this text, and hopefully we can find that in our GoBuster. So what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and exit this because we're pretty much done. We know that that this is base64, and we've decoded it into the Visionaire cipher, and now we just need to find the key. So that done, I'm going to go ahead and exit, and it looks like we have a few directories that we just found. I'm going to make sure I didn't change anything here. Just going to refresh. Okay, we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and close this base64, and then we're going to go check out a few of these directories here. Let's try scripts. And if we go to scripts, we just find that it's actually just scripts, a bunch of scripts that are there. I didn't take the time to go back and go through these to see if maybe there was some information that would have helped me. There's definitely nothing in the source. And that would have been interesting if they may have maybe put a few of the answers here in some of the scripts. But to my knowledge, these are useless. They have no use for us in order to crack the cipher here or with privilege escalation or anything like that. So no use on that. We have contracts, so we can go to contracts as well. And we find a folder not in use, which literally has nothing because it is, well, not in use. So that is all for that right there. And at that point, we have auditions as well that just popped up. So we can go to auditions, and I accidentally removed that slide, that tab there that had the IP address. So we'll go here, and now we can go to auditions. And we find a MP3 file. It says must practice corrupt file.mp3. So I'm obviously not going to play that because it's probably going to be a I know it's a loud file. When I played it the first time, it was pretty loud, and I'm not going to destroy anybody's headphones. So we need to get this file, basically. There's going to be a little stego involved with this, so potentially this file is going to have some information that we need. So what we could do is we could copy the link address, go into we can close our Go Buster, we can cancel that, we're good there. We have all the information we need. And if we needed to, we could copy it and you know, keep this information for review later on if we need it, but we should be good now. So I'm going to go ahead and clear it out, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into files, and then I'm going to do a wget command for that mp3 file, and that should go ahead and download that. And as you can see, it is in fact there. So now what we need to do is we need to get something that we can examine this mp3 file. And I'm going to use Sonic Visualizer, so I'm going to go ahead and create a new tab here, and then we're going to go into my op directory, and then I'm just going to go ahead and run Sonic Visualizer, and this should pop up here in just a second. And now that is up, we're going to go ahead and open up that mp3 file. So I'm going to go into our THM directory, into Cage, Files, and then this mp3 file. So once that opens up, we can expand that just a tad, and we're going to go and change the pane on and add a spectrogram, and just do that first one there. And as you can see, I can just kind of move it over just a tad. There's some, you know, you can make out some letters and a word here or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to sunset, and I'm going to kind of go up and zoom in a little bit, and we can kind of make out it says nameless 2. So we can only assume that that is potentially our key for the Visionaire cipher. So what we'll do is put nameless 2, we will decode, and we see that this is proper English and not anything that is encrypted. So it looks like dad tasks the rage, the cage, the man, the legend. It says the first task is revamp the website. Second is put more quotes in script. Buy B pesticide. Help him with acting lessons or speech lessons for me. Teach dad what information security is. And in case I forget, and this looks like the potential password for us. So what we can do is we can copy this, and we can go ahead and cancel this. We don't need Visualizer anymore, and we can go back into our Cage directory, CD files, and we can make a file called dad's unencrypted tasks. That's a pretty long file name, but I'm just going to use it. We'll paste that information in there and exit, and now we have that unencrypted tasks, and we should be good from here. So now what we can do is we'll keep that mp3 file as well. Now we have that password. We can go ahead and examine and make sure that that is in fact Weston's password, which is the first question that we have here for the task. And now the final two are user flag and root flag. So we can see that that is in fact the password that we just received with getting that key for the Visionaire cipher and then decoding that. So my dad is Ghostwriter. I'm not even going to try to read all that. It's too close together for me. Anyways, we're finished here. So now we have a password. We know that SSH is open, and we know that we have a user, which is going to be Weston. So we could probably SSH into that box with Weston. So what I'm going to do first actually is go ahead and cat dads see unencrypted task here. I'm going to go ahead and copy this string, and I'm going to clear and then do nano creds.txt and do Weston and save that as a creds file. That way it's just a little shorter and we know that is in fact a creds file. So I'll clear that out and we're going to SSH Weston at IP address is going to be 10.10.104.156. And yes, we want to continue connecting. The password is going to be that long string that we just decrypted, and we should SSH into the box. And perfect, we are in. So now what we can do is we can figure out where we are. We are in the home folder for Weston, and it looks like there's nothing interesting here, so we can kind of back out into the home directory and see what else we have. We have cage. See if we can cd into cage, and we cannot. So this leads to us just having to enumerate the box. We can try sudo-l, see if we have anything good, and it looks like we can run bees as root. So let's try to run user bin bees, and it looks like it's just a broadcast message screaming about bees, which would probably be part of the tasks for buying bee pesticide. So that makes sense. However, we still need to do some enumeration because this isn't going to help us get, it's not going to help us pivot. That's one thing we know we need to do. We need to pivot over to the cage user because we need to get into that directory to get the user flag. And it's definitely not going to help us root the box, so we're not going to be able to escalate our privileges from Weston to root with just this broadcast message. So what we can do is we do a few things. We could either pull over to linpeas, run that and see if we find anything interesting, or we could run something like pspy and see if there's any jobs being ran by root or cage that we just can't see with something like psaux. And that is what we'll do now. So we'll go ahead and clear this, and we are going to hop back over into that other tab there. We are still in the files directory, so what we can do is we can copy over pspy, should have it, perfect, and we can call it just pspy. And let's see, maybe do I have it in there? Let's go over there real quick. Let's see, pspy, I thought I had it. Cd pspy, it is just right there. Okay, so we'll copy pspy64 over to our cage directory, which is going to be thm cage files, and we're going to have to supply sudo at the beginning of that. That's no problem. And so now it should be copied over there, and we'll head there now. And we have pspy there. So now all we need to do is get a few things going. So we need to get a HTTP web server through Python going, and then we can do a wget from our SSH terminal shell, and then we should be able to bring over pspy and run it for us. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do Python. Actually, I'm going to have to probably use sudo python 3-m http server, and then we're going to put it on port 80, and we are good there. So I'll head over to our Weston shell here, or SSH shell, and I'm going to go ahead and do a wget. Actually, I'm in the home directory, so I probably can't write to that. The best and easiest way to do it, safest way to do it, probably just go into the temp directory, and now I can run a wget and then do HTTP. I know my IP address is going to be 10.11.12.6, I believe. I'm going to supply the port 80, and then we just want to get pspy 64, and then I'm going to go ahead and close the quotes there. It's actually a single quote, and it should download pspy 64 from our local machine here. And as you can see, that is in fact going through. And we'll give that just a second, and we'll change the permissions on that so that we can execute it, and we'll get that going. So we just need to do a change mod, and we'll do 755 and then pspy 64. So now, if we look in, we should see pspy 64, and we should be able to run it. Perfect. So we should get some information through this. Just wait a second here. Oops, got a little bit of input here. I forgot I was in tmux, so I need to actually get rid of all this, and I should be able to scroll up now. So now with that done, let's take a look around, see if we find anything interesting. Not seeing anything. Let's see. Nothing too crazy. Should probably just give it a second. We'll give it a second and see if we get some information to pop up here, and I'll come back when it is up. Okay, and we're back, and as you can see, we got some interesting stuff happening here. It looks like, let's see, the user cage is actually running something that's in the op directory under a hidden directory called dad scripts, spread the quotes, and so we can go ahead and head over there. So I'll go ahead and get out of PSPy. So that's some pretty interesting stuff there. So again, we just found that there's a hidden directory in opt, and there's a spread the quotes.py file, so we can go and see if we have any access to that whatsoever. So we'll clear this out. We'll head over to the opt directory, and if we do an ls, obviously we're not going to see it, but if we list everything and we see that there is a hidden directory, so we'll go ahead and cd into that, and we'll list everything in here just in case, and we find the py file that is spread the quotes, and then we also see another hidden directory called files. But first I'm going to go ahead and cat out this spread the quotes file, py file, and see if there's anything interesting. You see that it's importing the operating system in random Python libraries, and there's a variable that says open, and it looks like it's going to the files hidden directory, and then quotes hidden file. It reads all the lines within this quotes file here, and then chooses one at random, assigns it to the quote variable, and then prints it out via the wall bash command, which is what we saw just a moment ago through PSPy, that little quote that we saw that was displayed. So pretty interesting. However, we don't have the ability to write to this file, so we can't do anything with that. However, we haven't checked the quotes file yet that it actually is reading from. So what we should do is we should go into the .files directory that's hidden. We can list all the contents there, and then we see that we have the ability to write through a group, through the group. So what we should be able to do is, and actually before we do that, we can actually just cat that out, and we can see that it's just a bunch of quotes that it's just going to continuously print out, and that is a lot of quotes. I see one about bees. That's a really nice one. Hey dirtbag, I never disrobe before gunplay. So just some random quotes that it's going to spit out every few minutes, it looks like. And so what we can do actually is we can edit this file here, or we should be able to. Actually, we're going to have to supply that dot there, and we should be able to make a few changes here. So I believe the command to delete everything using vi is D-G. All right, there it goes. So with that done, we know we have the ability to edit this file, and we know it's using the wall command because we are reading the spread the quotes Python file, and at the end it does wall and then plus the quotes variable in the Python file, which is just a random line from this quotes file. So what we can do is we need to go ahead and we need to edit this file by pressing I, and then we need to go ahead and cancel off that wall command, and we could do bash -c, then double quotes, and we'll put in a reverse shell here. And I'm just going to go to Pentest Monkey, reverse shell cheat sheet, and we should be able to find a pretty easy bash reverse shell. I apologize for that. If you heard that, that was just some dogs getting to the food. So now that we have that, we should be able to just edit this. And what we'll do is we'll just change that for my IP address, which is going to be 10.11.12.6, and then, oops, 9001, the second best port to 9002. Then we'll copy that over, and now we don't need to save that. We have that copied up, and we can input that into the .quotes file. So once that's done, we should be able to save it. But before we do that, I'm actually going to split this and go ahead and get a netcat listener going on 9001 so that we can see that go through. So now that that is there, I'm going to make sure everything is right. We have, let's see, bash-c, that's correct, 10.11.12.6, 9001. So we should be good here. This should be right. I'm going to go ahead and write that out. Just going to go ahead and make sure, are we on the right page? Yes, we are. Don't think I bash-c. There we go. I think I just pressed 1 last time. So we should be good. I'm going to go ahead and clear this out, and then I'm going to go ahead and cat the quotes file, and we see that it is in fact the bash reverse shell that it needs to run. So we'll give that just a few minutes, and we should get a reverse shell as cage, and I'll be right back when that happens. Okay, and we are back. As you can see, we now have a shell as cage below us, and I'm going to go ahead and go under that, and we're just going to go ahead and move that up a little bit, and it works. So the I guess we can. It's a the job went through. It ran our bash command to do a reverse shell to our IP address, and then we are now in as cage. So what we can do is we can head over to the we should be in the home directory. We can go ahead and list all the contents here, and we find nothing actually too good. No user.txt. We see email backup and super duper checklist. What we can do is we can head over and cat out the super duper checklist. And we see that we get the user flag here. So we get obviously the checklist that they need to do and figure out why Weston has this etched into his desk, which is going to be the user flag, so metal or pen testing. And we can confirm that by just going down just a tad, and we see that that is in fact the user flag there. And so now we need to work on escalating to root, because obviously we are not root yet. We are still just a simple user. So there was a directory called email backups. So what we can do is we can head over into email backup, actually not backups, and we can list the contents there. And we have 3 emails here. So we can cat out email 1, and it's just a message from Sean Archer. Nothing too important there, just some information about a potential sequel and making that CV look good. So we can go and cat out email number 2, and nothing again, just a reply from old Nicolas Cage. What's your username on here? Root. Okay, so it looks like Sean might be root potentially. And so we'll go ahead and cat out that final and last email, number 3. And we get something very weird here. So it looks like we're getting an email that says, Sean left a note on his desk with some really strange writing on it. I quickly wrote down what it said. Could you look into it, please? I think it could be something to do with this account on here. I want to know what he's hiding from me. I might need a new agent. Pretty sure he's out to get me, the note said. And then it's just this weird word here. And we'll copy that. And what we can do is we can actually go back to our identifier here, our cipher identifier. And we can just go ahead and analyze it. And it's going to tell us, wow, columnar transposition cipher. I don't believe that that is true. I believe it's still a Visionaire cipher tool. So we're just going to go back there. We'll input it here. If we go back, this actually took me a good little bit of time here. So it says the guy also seems obsessed with my face lately. He came him wearing a mask of my face. He came in wearing a mask of my face. Was rather odd. Imagine wearing his ugly face. I wouldn't be able to face that. And obviously this very obnoxious line of laughter. Get it, Weston? Face that. And then some more laughter. And that just kind of led me to think that maybe my key is somewhere in here. So for the longest, I was trying face that, and then I was slowly adding all the exclamation points. And then eventually I found that if we just do face, I'm going to do capital just in case. I'm going to do face, and we see that the output is actual English. Cage is not a legend. So if we copy that and we try to do something like switch user to root, oh, actually we probably should switch over to, if we should go here, oops, and if we cancel this, we should be able to su root. Password is cage is not a legend, and then we are now switched over to the root user, and I'm going to go ahead and let me bring that down. Let's see what's happening there. Let me get some of this. There we go. All right, so now we are the root user. We can confirm that by just doing a who am I. We see that we are root. We can head over to the root directory and cat out the root.txt. Oh, actually, there isn't a root.txt. So if we list all the contents here, we see that there's an email backup directory. So if we cd into email backup directory, and we list all the contents there, we have 2 emails. So we can cat email number 1, and it's just a looks like it's a message from our to Sean Archer. Someone's in his debt. And then, oh, it looks like I actually never even read this. My control over Cage is becoming stronger. I've been casting him into the worse and worse roles. That's horrible. And then we can read email number 2. And we find the root flag here. Bring down the Cage, long live me. So Sean Archer is definitely not doing well by old Nicolas Cage there, but we can also confirm that that is in fact the root flag by looking here at the answer, and that is the box. That's it. That's all we have to do. We have rooted this machine. I hope it wasn't too fast. I felt like I kind of just zoomed through it, but nonetheless, I'm willing and able to answer any and all questions. If you're having any issues with something, I'm happy to help you. You can get to me on Discord at Sevuhl, or you can just comment below and I'll be happy to try my best at answering the questions in the comments. Otherwise, I might have to reach back out to you on the Discord chat. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed it. I have a few other videos coming this week as well. I think I'm going to do blog this week, or I'm going to do the video on blog. I actually did blog last night, so it was really fun. Wasn't really expecting to get the reverse engineering part on my own, but I somehow managed, and I was really excited. So I can't wait to get that video out to you. Nonetheless, thank you for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will catch you all on the next video. Goodbye.